This case was about Vernonia High School in Oregon that authorized random drug tests on their athletes because they were concerned that drug use increased the risk of sports-related injury. These random drug tests were only authorized for their athletes, though, not just regular students. But this kid, James Acton, and his parents refused to take the drug test, so he was denied participation in his school's football league. So this raised the question, does random drug testing of high school athletes violate their Fourth Amendment, or is it reasonable? Well, on the side of the school, the principal testified, a teacher and athletic director testified, and they also had an expert witness testify. Both the principal and the teacher testified that they just wanted the kids to be safe, and they were just concerned about that. But the expert witness actually, his reason behind it was that drug testing is the only actual reliable way to determine whether a person is impaired by drugs. James Acton's side was obviously that he thought it violated his Fourth Amendment and that the drug policy was unlawful to that right. Unfortunately for James Acton, the court sided with the school with a 6-3 decision. The court had many reasonings behind it, and one of them was that the student athletes, since they're under state supervision during school hours, they are subject to greater control than over free adults. And also that student athletes supposedly do not have as much expectation of privacy as the other students in the school. And the search was found properly authorized by a law-making body. But it did conclude that Vernonia's policy might justify individualized testing, but did not completely justify random testing. This case is an example of how, in the future, we now know the difference between how a search would be considered reasonable and unreasonable. Because in many cases, there are disputes between if it is justified search, and from this we can take that if they have a reason or they're under supervision, like a school, which is in many cases the issue, that the searches are allowed because it's a special environment. And if it's unreasonable, it's just without reason and it's completely random. Therefore, when we see more cases like this, it's more obvious to tell if there is actually a violation of someone's privacy. And that's the Vernonia High School versus Acton case. Case closed.